Significa mucho, ¿no? Siempre que pueda voy a estar con Florida.
Thank you, Kat. What the hell are you doing over there? You trying to shoot a pigeon or something?
I was shooting better than the rest of the Mavericks team in the playoffs.
Wow.
Don't do that.
Wow.
Do that.
Wow. So that's what we're
Except
doing.
Luka was the only one that did well.
See what I'm talking about? Mavs fans, we have to have a conversation. MFFLs, EA, you might not know this, but I am the face of the MFFLs and the
Since when?
And the fearless leader of the MFFLs. And
You're not.
sometimes a guy like me has to step up when they're not doing well and step out and have a conversation.
You were, first of all, never a leader of the MFFLs. Okay, you are the least Maverick fan of all the Maverick fans. Any Mavericks fan should know that if you somehow supported Dwayne Wade and the Miami Heat for any reason whatsoever, you are disqualified from being a MFFLer. I'm just letting you know that.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And we wipe a monkey's left testicle. What do you think when it comes to my
That's fine.
advocacy
Yeah.
towards the
what is this thing that you come up and have to tell us that you think you're so wise?
Well,
I'm ready for this. Come on.
well, you need to be because Mr. Zod, I can't call you that, right, Mr.
Sure,
Zod?
call me whatever you want.
At EA Sports DFW. Do I have that down right?
That's right.
Okay,
That's
I
right.
want to make sure I have it right. Mr. Zod, you know, Gavin Dawson praised the show. Big shout out to him on his platform, 105.3 The Fan, about a conversation we were having. And, you know, guys like you, let's start with Donnie's comments. You seem to not be happy about them. And, you know, I think a guy like you feels like he threw Luka under the bus. Is that what I'm feeling?
I don't necessarily think he threw Luka under the bus, and rightfully so. He needs to give criticism to Luka because he deserves criticism. Because
Wait, you feel Luka deserves criticism?
of course, but
In
every player needs to deserve criticism. And the fact of the matter that he needs to fix the way he needs to his usage rates, because we saw it on the fourth quarter. He started to lose energy, which I don't blame him. I don't blame him because, I mean, he has to do it all. And, of course, the biggest thing is free throw shooting. His free throw shooting is, I mean, star players need to – him and Giannis, apparently the two top European players. Apparently, by the way, did you know there was a 10-second violation on free throws? Yeah. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, Giannis got it.
I saw – and I was like, that's a rule, but okay.
Yeah.
Apparently –
if you play NBA 2K, you find that out. It did.
My thing is, but Donnie – but regardless of what happens with Luka, Donnie is responsible for putting a talented team around Luka Doncic, and he has failed at that a lot. Okay, he has found us Luka, great, and he did find us Dirk. He's made some good trades. He's tried to make some that KP trade. He's tried to make these things.
What would you consider to be good trades? What's a good trade?
I'm saying I don't know. He
just said he makes good trades.
No, I said he did back in the day. I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying, but
you mean like the Nick Van Axels, the
or also the Karan Butler trade that brought us the role pleasers, Deshaun Stevenson.
He didn't play in the finals.
Deshaun Stevenson, Brendan Haywood did. They played.
Right, Deshaun Stevenson didn't play to the playoffs. But go ahead. No, but good point. Keep going.
He hit a huge shot in the finals.
He's fine.
Yeah. Anyway, my point is, Donnie Nelson needs to do more, especially in the offseason. We've had 2 to 3 off seasons where he hasn't done jack diddly squat. And I'm talking about we're bringing in random dudes in here that aren't going to be helpful. And what do we hear every offseason? Oh, the Mavericks are tied to this guy. Oh, the Mavericks are on this guy, this guy. And guess what? We're always the second choice.
Yeah.
Oh, the Mavericks were just there, and nope, they never come here. And it's been 10 years of that. Go back to the planned powder days when we thought we were going to get Dwight Howard or Darren Williams. All those DeAndre Jordan even.
Yeah.
All those times we were the second choice. And I don't understand. Donnie needs to do a better job at it. I'm sorry, but he is the general manager. It's under his purview.
But we've told you this for years, and you've battled us back that it's not, Donnie's not the problem, and that
I never said that.
Yeah, you
I said Rick is not the problem. We've always
But you
I've
said
never
Donnie,
brought
but it's not Donnie's fault if people don't want to come here. You've made that comment before.
Oh no,
but
no.
You need me to. I can
no.
rotate.
I want to talk about it. Yeah, it's not Donnie's fault that people, if they don't want to come, they're going to go. But he needs to try better. He doesn't need to go for the tier 1 athletes all the time. There are tier 2 free agents that he can possibly get, and yet he doesn't. And for the last 2 seasons, he has failed miserably.
But I thought the Porzingis trade was a.
I thought so. Oh, that's one of those things where he tried and it failed. So you got to recover from it. You got to recover. Every time you get hit down, you got to get back up and say, okay, what's going on? You need to recover fast. The best general managers do that. Donnie's a great general manager. He built this franchise. He got us Luka. But the problem is it's not working anymore.
You know what? I would have to agree with you to a certain extent, man, because I think that you hit the nail on the head here when you said that Donnie goes out and he's able. We're always attached to the big name free agent, right? Yeah. Somehow, but when that doesn't fall through, well, when it does fall through, which seems to be more times than not, we don't seem to have a backup plan. There's never an attempt to go get a secondary guy, or there's not like a backup plan. It don't seem like
exactly.
And the backup plans that we do come up with, it just seems like it's just something we just threw against the wall and it just
for sure
and kind of slid.
You remember the
like
Wesley
that.
Matthews thing where
right.
it didn't work out with I believe DeAndre Jordan that year, and then all of a sudden the Cubans are go fuck it, just give him the rest of the money.
And that's like the big free agency.
Yeah, and we're like, cool. Wesley Matthews, what's he gonna do?
Like 17 million. Yeah,
was it?
He started out at 14. We gave him 17.
Yeah, I know,
for being loyal.
Yeah.
So I mean, that
guy who wasn't even on the team, we gave him loyalty money.
Dude, I don't even understand that. But I'll say this: Donnie Nelson is put up or shut up time this year. EA, we cannot have another offseason of going and just getting. I'm not gonna call them mid-level players, but you can't go out and just substitute the guys that you just got rid of with new names with the same talent. Right. You got to go out and get guys who can contribute and do something to help this team.
Your partner is smiling with too much.
I'm just laughing how I just find it funny how we went from if we had KP in the playoffs last year we would have won to now we got to get rid of KP. It didn't work.
That's foolishness.
Well, time. Okay, so you're trying to tell me that you saw what KP did. He's fully healthy, mind you. Okay, he's still healthy.
Mm-hmm. Mr.
He comes into the playoffs.
If I may approach the bench, please, sir. I have some evidence here.
Bring you the evidence that nobody on earth will agree with you on. But
I don't I care what these idiots think. Okay, first off, let's start off with Porzingis before we get to the meat and potatoes of this thing. Mr. Luka Doncic, step back jack, as we like to call him on our broadcast. Mr. Zah, would you say that Kristaps Porzingis had a good year last year when he averaged 30 points for this team?
Last year, yes.
Yeah, when we were the number one offense, right?
We were
number one offense.
Number one offense.
Number one offense. Everything good. Mm-hmm. Good. Great. Ooh, in Dub City all the time.
All the time.
Stayed in Dub City, didn't you? This year we have a season that's never heard of before, COVID season. And the organization felt that we had to sit him games. You know, we're not going to play him back-to-backs and everything. Carlisle came out and said before the season even started, we're not sitting him. I mean, he's not going to play back-to-backs. Would you say that Mr. Porzingis had a bad season this year?
Yes.
In what way did he have a bad season?
He never fully got into, I guess, a rhythm with the team, or his shooting was off. But more importantly, his defensive awareness dropped. He wasn't a great defensive player to begin with, but it dropped a whole other level, and there's statistics to back it up. The Ringer.com, they did a whole expose on Porzingis' numbers drastically dropping off since the knee injury in the playoffs. Something happened where he zapped his defensive attitude, and also when he did play, and again he was lethargic. He didn't seem like he wanted to play.
Don't worry.
No. I'm just saying. And
what, if I may, wasn't him and Luka the best pick and roll duo?
Yeah, they were.
Oh, so he's the best pick and roll duo.
But guess what?
No.
If you want to
go ahead. You can approach me.
Okay, so I'm approaching now.
Go ahead.
All right.
Go
so
ahead,
in the playoffs, we get into where crunch time, right? Mm-hmm. And guess what the Clippers did? Oh, they did something to Porzingis that he wasn't expecting. He doesn't know. They got him with wing defenders, which took him off the pick and pop. And he had no other room. He has no other game but what he was used to. And the Clippers took that away from him. And he didn't do diddly squat from there. He sat there like, oh no, they took me off my spot. What am I going to do? And KP admitted it in his exit interviews. He needs to evolve in his game.
Now, I will agree with that. Can I just
but
go
that
real
was
quick?
the biggest point.
Can I just go real quick? You said that Mr. Porzingis did nothing in the playoffs, right?
He did it.
He didn't. Okay. Game 1, he had 14, I believe.
14 points for a guy who makes $150 million, who's supposed to be your.
You were happy with that during the season. You were happy with that during the season. You were.
I was happy.
Excuse me, Mr. Zion, please. I did not interrupt you. I did not interrupt you, please. I did not interrupt you, please, sir.
Okay.
At the game 2, he gave you 20 points. Mm-hmm. Game 3 is when he fell off and gave you 9. He came back and gave you 18. I think he had another 7. It was either 7 or 8, and then he gave you 18.
Okay.
Okay. I'm glad you bring that up. Your guy, step back Jack. You love him, right? You love him. You love that step back Jack. What that they call that? Step back.
Yeah.
You love that
Luka
step back
Magic.
shot.
Luka Magic. A lot of the Luka.
Can I
Magic.
point you out something, Mr.
Yeah.
Zod? In games 1 and 2, when step back Jack had 30 points and the rest of the team had double figures, can you tell Facebook and Twitter what happened with the Mavericks? What they do?
Say it again.
Well, let me repeat that for you.
Yeah.
When step back Jack, Luka, the guy you love, had around 30 points and the rest of the team had double figures, can you tell Facebook and Twitter what the Mavericks did?
They gave it to Luka.
That's not. They won the basketball game.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah. Pay attention. They won the basketball game. Now, can you tell the people at home? Can you tell people Facebook, Twitter, and this will be on YouTube?
Well, you can tell them. Why don't you tell them?
Well, I want you to
It's
do it.
your
I want
thing.
you
It's
to.
your thing.
It sounds better when you say it. Can you tell Facebook and Twitter when Luka had 44 points in these playoffs and the rest of the team had single digits? Can you tell Facebook, Twitter, YouTube what
Yes,
happened?
they lost.
Yeah, they had L's. Billy, and I'll throw it over you in a second, has been very, very vocal about, and I have to, on our post-game show about, we're okay with Luka having 44, 30 points and things like that, as long as those points come within the flow of the game and that he's getting his team involved. Well, I have two games where he got his team involved and he took less shots and scored points, and they were effective in the game and they won. But then I have here 44. This person's got Maxi Cleavers. That's I can't even excuse that. I don't know what happened there. Dorian's got 7, Tim Hardaway's got 8, and KP's got 6 or 7 or 9 or whatever.
Can I ask you before you go to Billy? So you guys are using a weird target. So you're assuming that because Mr. Step Back Jack, because when he took over the game, he's not involved with his teammates. Could it also be that his teammates aren't making the shots? Because it seems like when they are making their shots and when they are doing well, that's when he knows, okay, well, they're doing well tonight. I can trust them. When he sees they're not having a great offensive game, Luka pulls back. He's like, well, I got to do it on my own tonight. And when you're in the playoffs, I don't think you're going to wait around and say, keep force feeding this guy because he's going to get into it.
Just one more time. Mr. Zod, I'm glad you bring it up. That's a very good point. That's very good. I was hoping you were going to go there. Because in game 3, you remember Luka came out very hot. Very hot. And he had I think he ended up with maybe
18.
I think he had a 40-pointer that night.
Yeah, 40. I think it was 42 points.
Yeah.
I want to say.
When he was in the first quarter, he was scoring all those points. Who else got the basketball?
Okay, what does it matter though?
Because in game 1 and 2, when he came out, he made sure everybody touched the basketball and everybody got their
Okay,
points.
so you're pointing to game 3, but outside of that, Luka Doncic did
he did
actually he tried to get, and I remember game 3. He tried to get everybody involved after
was
that
that
first
before
quarter.
or after he was cooking?
So, no, but what does it matter when or when? Because he still tries to get his teammates involved. If your teammates are not having it that night, that's not his problem. Okay, that's the other people's problem. Go ahead, get Billy.
Hold on. Just one more time.
I'm
Just one more time. I agree with you. I agree with you so much. But when you play on a team of rhythm shooters, you have to get them involved. I'm sorry, there's no other way. It's not his fault the way the team is constructed that way. I do not blame him for that. But at the same time, if you are on a team, you've been playing with this team all season, you've seen that they get going when he gets. In game 1 and 2 was the recipe. I don't know what happened. They went away from the game plan, and they said, no, we're not doing that no more. Game 1, if they would have continued playing like they played in game 1 and 2, the Mavericks playing Utah today.
Hold on. But the thing is, in games 1 and 2, your role players were making their shots.
Okay, but when he came out of game 1 and 2, hold on, Mr. Zod, please let me finish. When he came out game 1 and 2, he didn't come out jacking up shots. He came out, he was making sure everybody touched the ball. He got everybody involved, and then his points came within the flow of the game.
I'll give you this.
Okay.
I'll give you that he did that in game 3, and maybe that may be a mistake of not getting it far. But what about games 4, 5, 6, and 7? Because guess what? Luka Doncic early on still tried to get his teammates involved, and guess what?
Well,
they didn't make their shots.
Okay, game four is one I'll give you where it was like they just.
And game 5.
Game five, it was only him and Tim Hardaway.
Yeah,
but at the same time, but hold on, game 5, he came out launching, and he was tied in the third. from game 5 to 7, and in the second half we had
why
nothing.
Was he tired? Because his teammates weren't producing. Let Billy talk. You're not doing well. Let Billy talk.
Sir, how am I not doing?
Yeah,
you don't want to go to me because I shut you up. Okay, go ahead, Billy. I'm sorry, Billy. Billy, I'm sorry. I'll go and sit back over here.
That's it. In wrestling,
Because-
tag team, I felt bad. So like,
But here's the thing, Billy. I'm sorry. I was hitting him with too many facts. So I'll let you do this. I'll sit over here and type on my keyboard while you talk to him.
So here's the thing,
Man, you
EA.
have a breather, man.
Yeah. So here's the thing, EA. You should get some water, man. You really went to bat there.
I'll drop it.
So here's the thing, and I agree with you 100%. Luka Doncic, his teammates did not hit shots. He does try to get them involved. I give him that. What my argument on the whole situation is, especially when it comes to Luka and how we use him way too much. Granted, he's our best player, so you have to use him, especially in the playoffs. Like you said, can't afford to fall behind and jack around, right? But the way this Mavericks team is constructed, again, not his fault, as we mentioned, the way this team is constructed, it's one of those situations where if they're on and they're hitting shots, we're good. When we're not, we're really, really bad because there is this team is not built to get stops, 3, 4, 5 consecutive stops. So you can hang that up. So if they're not hitting shots, they're not going to win. My issue with Luka Doncic is, and he's going to learn this as he gets older and he continues to play in this league, but my issue with Luka Doncic is right now, it's like, dog, as the primary ball handler, it is your job to get your guys involved. Now, we all want to beat up on KP and we want to talk about his numbers and all that stuff. Rightfully so. He did not play well. But let's also assess it and say why he did not play well. Now, EA, we've heard Rick Carlisle over and over and over again say, hey, he's doing what our coaching staff, we as the Dallas Mavericks are asking him to do. KP, no, he does not have a post-up game. People need to get over that, okay? It is what it is. He's 7'3". He does not have a post-up game. He's a tall, stringy noodle. So he's not going to back anybody down, right?
So does he only have one way to play?
No. I think he could be more effective, but I think your coaching staff has to put him in those positions. But Luka has to do a better job of getting him in position to do those things because it's always going to look bad if Luka's pounding or dribbling the air out of the ball and then kicking it to KP in the corner.
See, this is where you guys are. Here's the thing where you guys talk both ways, okay? Because on one end, you guys are saying that Luka doesn't get his teammate involved.
That's not what we're saying.
No, you said he doesn't get his teammate.
That's not what we said. We're saying that in the playoffs, I said in certain games he didn't. I said game 1 and 2 he came out and he got his teammates involved and they won. So the games that I said the games that he didn't get them involved, where he scored 40 points.
It was only game 3 really because
he didn't do it 5.
No, 5, 6, 7. I'm telling you right now, he had no other shot. No way. He was passed. I saw multiple times during those series. He passed the ball countless times to his teammates. They just didn't. I remember 3 or 4 times.
He had 20. If he has 30 or 20 points at the half, what does that tell you?
Well, also, then what does it tell you when he comes down? And I saw 3, 4 consecutive possessions where Luka would find a guy and it would be a brick.
No, because game 6 and 7, he kept throwing the ball in the Boban.
That was in game 6. I'm talking about
game 6 and 7.
Game 4 and 5.
Game 4. No, they won 5, and I mean they really could have lost that game because of a blown attempt by.
Well, you know what won them in game 5 where they got it is because they played better defense in the third quarter. Their defense that's what got them on that little big run. That's the thing. The problem with this team is not.
In game 4, I won't really knock him. He was hurt. He got. Was that game 3 or 4?
Yeah, game 4.
That's game 4 when he had the string. I won't really knock him for game 4. Let's just take game. Let's X out game 4.
Listen, time out. Luka Doncic should not be at fault for anything in the series.
Nobody's saying he's at fault. Yeah. Our thing is you guys need to stop acting like we can't judge his game.
Well, but everybody is judging him.
No. Everybody. How dare? Because you're mad at Donnie for the same thing that me and him are saying.
No, I'm mad at Donnie because Donnie doesn't put role players around this team.
No, but everybody's like Donnie threw Luka under the bus. How can he say that?
I don't agree with that. I don't think that you did.
Well, let me point this out real quick. Our guy David, shout out to David Barber catching the show right now. He wants us to know it's not all about the points. Let's talk rebounds and defense. Says KP, we're talking about KP here, can't create his own shot, has 6'3" guys beating him for rebounds and play terrible defense. That's true. Here's the thing that I say about it. Your team is on a string. They have to be tied together on a string defensively. I keep telling people, and I cannot reiterate it enough, if you played any type of organized sports, man, if you are not in the flow of a game, if you are not in a rhythm, if you're not doing anything, it is unfair for me it's not like football where, I'm sitting on the bench and I come off and I know this is my role. I go from offense to defense really quickly in basketball. So my thing is, if you're not in the flow of the game and you're just standing out there, you can't expect excellent defensive play over here if you're not even involved on this side of the floor. It's the same thing we expect with Finney Smith. We know he's a defender, right? But nobody's expecting anything out of Finney Smith on the offensive side of the ball. Timmy, sometimes if you're not in the flow of the game, you're not touching the ball, you're disinterested in the game as a whole.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Sure.
When y'all try to defend KP, it seems like a lot of times you guys say, yeah, but these guys, okay, that's fine.
Well, I'm not. I agree with KP. I agree with what you said about KP, and I'm on KP's biscuit too. You do need to evolve your game.
He does, because you know what, the Clippers showed us pretty much how to shut him down, because they didn't do this last year. Here's the thing: they didn't know how to defend KP in the bubble last year.
You know why? Do you know why? Do you know why that is?
Why?
Because you had. Do you know that floor spacer you had in Seth Curry?
Seth Curry.
Right. Rick decided to make Porzingis that floor spacer. That's why, and it was to open up, like you said, it was to open up for Luka to do what he had to do.
I know, but another thing is the Clippers figured out if you just take KP out of his game, the one thing he's really good at, they just threw wing defenders at him all day.
Here's the thing.
He threw him off.
They didn't have to take him. They had to take him out the game. They didn't have to take him out the game. The coach took him out the game.
No, that's not.
The coach took it.
Yeah,
No, the Clippers took him out. I don't know why we're.
How is that when the head coach do? The head coach told you himself.
The head coach is just trying to save face. They're trying. You do know that.
Wait, hold on. Are you accusing Rick Carlisle of not being honest? The one person who tell it like it is around there?
All sports.
No. Rick Carlisle, who does not lie about a damn thing.
Who said that?
If anybody on that team you were to say is a liar, if you would say Cuban and Donnie is a liar, I'll say yeah. But Rick Carlisle,
you think he tells the truth?
Rick Carlisle will tell your motherfucking ass like it is. You've seen that in post-game interviews tell you what it is.
Rick is pretty straightforward.
He's gonna tell you straightforward.
I think
that's
knows,
one person.
I think he knows when, and I think he's playing the game really well.
Bro, this is the dude that got on. This is the dude that got there and called his player and told him he looks fat on there. Rick Carlisle don't give a damn.
I know, but they're also trying to get him a trade. They're trying to trade him out.
But that don't have nothing to do with Kp. They're not trading him in the playoffs. They're not thinking about his value. They worried about winning. Rick Carlisle gonna tell you the truth.
So then my thing.
I think I'm starting to believe that little story that came out over there at your station that's been posted about some real.
Yeah, I don't know where, because I
don't know, but I can believe it.
The only thing I got, just listened to the greatness Mark Falwell and Brian Damaris on the ticket. They just had the post-mortem Maverick show. I listened on the way in today. I listened to the whole thing. There isn't really any kind of reports or anything coming in from that, so I don't know where that tweet came from. That's the only tweet where I saw that. Mm-hmm. So then again, I'm not going to really.
Hey, we didn't know Luka had COVID either, did we? Till he said it on. He said it on y'all station.
Well, right, I understand that, but I'm saying I don't hear anything.
You know that did.
There was nothing on the ticket.
You know that did. He said he came out and said it.
No, I had no idea that.
My thing is this. KP,
they kept that shit very under wraps.
I think that if you're gonna have to blame somebody, it's the role players, KP, and that Donnie's the biggest culprit.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because Mr. Cuban made some comments today, and he says that it was the role players that ultimately decided the series.
They did, which is true.
Okay.
Did you know that when Luka Doncic was on the floor, they outscored the Clippers. When he was on the bench, they got outscored by the Clippers. That's bad. When you go off the bench and you're getting outscored, but you're outscoring them so Luka had to stay on the entire fucking thing. Like, that's why I don't like
his rotations were pretty bad too, though.
I just don't understand why Luka Doncic has to get all the brunt of the blame or any kind of
blame.
He shouldn't.
You misunderstand. We're not putting the blame on Luka. We're saying that don't act like he didn't have something to do with it. No, but that's what we're saying. Like, don't.
He has like 5%,
maybe 10. Maybe 10, 15, 20.
That's all you really.
My whole logic on Luka Doncic is no. We know what he is to the team.
Well, I mean, you did call him a front running punk. I felt
and to this day, on June 10th, 2021,
I don't know about a front running punk.
He is a front runner.
How is he a front runner? He hasn't won.
No, he's a. True. He doesn't run. He's a front walker. But when I say that about Luka Doncic, it's not to say that his game isn't good or what. What I'm saying is Luka Doncic, when things are all good, it's all great and everything. But when things go bad and his guys aren't hitting shots, Luka Doncic, and it's hard to just kind of lock onto it because, again, he is young. I think he's going to develop these things, but he's not the leader this team needs right now. right now.
I don't.
He's not
I
that.
No, I don't see that.
I don't think they. What I mean, do you look at Luka and say he's the leader of the team?
Because I've seen especially during this playoff series, how many times, even the good and the bad times, Luka Doncic was energized. He was getting his teammates going up. He was like, "Let's go, let's go." If he made it, he did the whole thing. My bad. He got this team playing for him. This team plays for him. The world has seen it. I mean, I'm seeing people of that weren't giving him respect. They're now giving him respect. Like everyone's like. He is the truth. Like I've said, that's why his nickname should be the truth, not Paul Pierce's dumbass. So
his name is the Don. Is what his name is. It's the
Don. Whatever we got to get.
Triple
Luka Doncic is fine.
Triple Doncic and step back Jack.
Here's what the Mavericks need to do, and I was saying that. And let me ask you guys this question as we wrap this up. KP.
I'm trying to figure out how you gonna wrap the segment, but go ahead.
I took that power after I gave you that butt whooping. Would y'all trade KP for Kemba Walker right now?
No.
Why not?
Okay. And I'm glad we talked about this because this is where we were going to go next. So let me get this straight. Let me get this straight.
You're a yes?
I'm a yes.
Okay, let me get this straight.
Uh-huh.
For years, I came up here and said, take the ball out of Luka's hands. Mm-hmm. You fought me on it tooth and nail. So what do you think Kemba Walker's going to do when he comes here?
You take the ball.
So that's what you want?
No, I would still give Luka the ball, but let Kemba, be on.
Okay,
Kemba can play off the ball too.
Yeah, and Kemba.
No, he can't really play. That's why Boston doesn't want him anymore because he can't really play off the ball. He sucks off the ball.
I don't know. Maybe it's the way Boston you. I think he can play off.
He doesn't play off the ball well. He used to, but I don't know what happened.
Okay, so
I don't know what happened.
It's a system.
I don't know what happened in Boston,
but it's a system he's in there.
He's going from one guy who controls the ball to another guy that controls the ball.
Well, I think more than anything.
Well, let's be honest here. You know what's going to happen to him when he comes to Dallas.
What's that?
Get your butt on that 3-point line.
I don't see that with Kemba, man. Not with Kemba. Maybe some of these other guys.
It ain't about Kemba. It's Rick Carlisle.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's not even his game.
Rick's smart enough to know if he can't really do it outside.
Really? How many times have they been shooting? They've been out of the game with threes, and we just saying, "Well, keep shooting them."
But yeah, that's because they're down. That's what you always all teams
you got
do
down because of 3-point. Your team wasn't shooting threes, and you just said keep shooting them, huh?
Listen, if you take, I got David Barber says he'll take Kemba in a heartbeat, but only if they can make another move for a B because that has to be the thing. Now, I got Jai says hell no for Kemba. I like Kemba or someone like him for this reason. You talk about taking Luka off the ball, having someone else. Well, you have Jalen Brunson on the team. He can take Luka off the ball by running the point.
Somehow they don't use Jalen Brunson.
Right, but the thing is, the Mavericks, what they need to do is get a secondary scorer. That's what they need, who can handle the ball. Okay. I don't want just a guy who can bring it up and pass it to Luka because we're doing the same thing.
That's what when they say another ball handler, that's what they want.
Well, just a guy to come and bring it in and
give bring the ball up so they can get the ball to Luka.
That's what they don't need.
That's what they want with Kemba.
Yeah, and shame on them.
And when Luka can't get a shot, when Luka's done dribble. Yeah. And can't get a shot. We want to pass it to Kemba. And Kemba is going to actually make it as opposed to KP. Is what the point is.
Oh, I hope
that's what it is. That's what it is.
They need a guy who can go in there like Kemba. Kemba is that guy that can give you that 20 points a night that we're talking about getting outside of Luka consistently. A guy like Bradley Beal. I know I'm just throwing names out here. I don't even know how that
Bradley Beal. I'm throwing a parade.
Yeah, me too. I'll be right there with you.
Better hope he start a cuss fest over it. Him and Westbrook just get into it between now. It wasn't going. He ain't going nowhere.
I'm going to start some vicious rumors on Twitter. See if we get going. But the Mavericks do need a secondary guy, not a guy who could just score off a Luka setup. We need a guy. You mentioned your guy DeMar DeRozan. Okay, he's not at the top of my list, but I
well, here's the thing with DeMar DeRozan. Here's the reason DeMar DeRozan. All you have to do is sign him. You don't have to give up anything.
Yeah, but you can't sign him.
Why not?
Because what are you going to buy Tim?
We ain't worried about no Tim. What you mean?
You know what Tim Hardaway Jr. back?
Listen, not at that number.
Listen, if Tim Hardaway is not going to start, you're going to have to pay Tim like 20. And I'm not paying him 20 to be a 6-man.
I know.
Yeah, and not be a 6-man.
That's the thing, though. The Mavericks are in a really kind of dicey spot.
They're not.
Because I think they are.
First off, they shouldn't be. If they didn't give away their draft picks, they wouldn't be in a bad position.
Well, that's one thing they are. They're in, and that KP was one reason why. So,
no, they just gave up another draft pick. They just gave up their second-round pick for JJ Redick and Melo.
Yeah. So
very, very stupid.
And just before you go there's nobody found in the second round. The MVP was found in the second round. of the draft.
Okay, that is an outlier.
Yeah, it is. That's
an
not going to
outlier.
happen more times than not. Jai says Kemba will be in street clothes just like KP, so I guess there's no point of doing that.
Right, he's got a leg injury too. The only thing is he ain't tall.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you want
So
to do that.
basically, Mavericks fans are stuck with KP because they ain't gonna be able to find.
Well, it's not even okay. Remember,
Unless they can trick Portland and give us CJ McCollum.
no, he's not. He's not.
I know.
He's not causing enough of an uproar.
I know. So
he's kind of like they're saying about Kemba too, though. He comes in there, he does his job. Like he don't make no play. He don't see, and it's starting to come out with Boston. They're like, well, really, we're not really trying to give up Kemba because Kemba comes in here, he does his job, he doesn't complain. He's a high spirit guy. He does what we ask him to do. Like we don't have any problem with him. So for them to trade him, it's gonna be really hard. And Danny Ainge ain't in control no more.
The only thing I can see right now, if a viable option that could happen, is Kevin Love. But I don't know if they're not the Cowboys.
You want to trade? So you want to trade KP for Kevin Love?
That's the only viable because of the way the contracts work.
I'm
saying.
And here's the other thing about this trading stuff y'all want to do. Okay, your next move has to catapult you further. Than
No.
I
understand. I'm telling you, you can't trade.
I'm just saying. So all this move KP.
You can.
No, you can. You can. But just know your
name.
next move, because KP when he was here, you went to the playoffs twice. Okay, you were 7th seed and then you were 5th seed. Yeah. Okay, so your next move has to catapult you.
No, and that's what I'm saying.
Further
I don't believe a trade could happen. I just was throwing it out there just for conversation.
I know. I'm not speaking to you. I'm just speaking to everybody's like, just trade him.
No. You can't. You're kind of stuck with KP, one, because of his contract, two, because you have listen. If you're gonna trade for him, the way he played, nobody's excited for him. No one's gonna give up a lot.
I disagree. There are like the Golden State Warriors could pick him up and say, hey, this because you know, but all they like to do is shoot threes anyway.
But what could you get?
It depends on how bad you want to get out from under. Like you say, anybody's contract is tradable.
It is.
So they can make. But
I don't want to get just kind of like screwed over in a trade where we had to get rid of him, so we got screwed over in a trade because teams love a desperate team.
Right.
And I don't want the Mavericks to be desperate.
And I tell you what, you better not trade him to Golden State. You don't want that. Now you got Steph, Clay coming back, and Draymond. That's a bad.
The only time Clay gonna make me threes is this new Space Jam movie.
Hey, listen, I do want to bring up something real quick. We got a lot of people over here. This thing is going up right now.
Comments.
So my guy John Brown, big fan of the Mavs postgame show.
Oh, the Luka hater?
Well, he's not a Luka hater.
I can tell.
No, he's not a Luka hater. He's just a realist, kind of like myself.
No, you're a hater too.
No, not at all, not the least bit. So John Brown brings up a very good point here. No, sir, not at all. I can't be affiliated with that. He brought up a very good point. He says you can let Timmy walk. And then you can trade Josh Richardson for Terrence Ross. I would love to have Terrence Ross here because he's going to be cheaper. See, you don't even know who Terrence Ross is.
Who is?
Trade
Josh Richardson. Let Timmy walk. Trade Josh Richardson for Terrence Ross.
Do that. I think Josh can.
Kevin Gray says they are not trading Porzingis, in my opinion, because they had Donnie on.
Yeah,
they had Donnie on the other day. And Donnie was like, we like to fit or whatever.
They can't. I don't think they can. Even if they wanted to trade him, I think it's going to be much harder. And what can you get for him in return that's going to be valuable? Because remember, you remember what you gave up for him. You gave up Dennis Smith Jr. and about 2 first-round picks. Mm-hmm. That's a lot. So to trade him away, and Walt's right. If you do trade him, you better get something back because if you lose KP, you're going to go backwards.
You're going backwards. You're going forward. Okay. Somebody said. Jacob Lucius asked me, what did KP have to do with us getting to the 5th seed? Here, and I'm glad he said that. Here, and I had a conversation with somebody yesterday. If you take KP off this team this year, do the Mavericks make it to the playoffs? Just take him away from the team.
It's hard.
Let's say he didn't play the whole season.
It's hard to say.
Okay, it's hard to say that, right?
Yeah, I can't just definitively.
You can't definitively say that. Yeah. But you add him to the games he did play with him here. You were a 5th seed. Now, Billy says that's what fool's gold.
Yeah, I think it's kind of fool's gold just because of all the injuries and stuff.
Okay, well, here's the thing. You would have either been a 6th or a 5th seed.
Yeah. I say 6, 7.
The Mavericks were one of the best teams in the after the
All-Star break.
After the All-Star break, they were one of the best teams in the NBA.
Right.
So they went on 34-16 or something like that. I mean, they were one of the best teams. That January COVID winter storm thing. I mean, I will admit
he played during that too. He played a lot of games during it.
Listen, I admit that this team, it's true that this team had a lot of hardships and KP did help a lot. The problem is when he did play, there were a lot of games when it was very up and down. How many times would we come in here and we'd have a drama when Tovash would sit there? And I was a KP defender, and I was like, "It's okay, come on." And it was just hard to keep defending this guy because every game he would be up and down, up and down. Yeah. We would never get a consistent, and that's my problem.
But at the same time, though, remember that was the organization that said we're sitting him these games.
Even I understand that, but okay, so we'll see. How about this? We'll see because I don't know if you know this, Billy. I don't know if you know this. The NBA announced that we're returning to a full normal.
And that's scheduled. That's whack. That's really
we're back to normal.
But you can't start them that quick like that.
That's why I don't like.
Up.
Yeah, that's why I don't like.
What's messed up about it?
The damn NBA Finals are getting ready to go to July fucking 22nd.
Right, then you're gonna have like 3 months later. Yeah, that's like 3 months later. Yeah, you're not giving your time.
Okay, but
usually they have what about four or 5 months? That's only 2 months.
I understand that, but you're gonna have to bite the bullet 1 year.
No, they should have. No, they already bit the bullet.
No, to get back to normal.
Yeah, you're gonna at some point you're gonna have to.
If you
I want you to I want you to know this. Next season, a lot of players sitting out. Because
it's not, they're gonna get back to somewhat normal by the thing. Because now by starting
you're asking guys that first off they didn't get the rest on this last turnaround either.
Yeah, I know.
They started that. Now you're asking them to come back and then turn around and play 2 more months later.
Here's the difference. First of all, the NBA Finals is only 2 teams that are playing in July. Most teams have already been out.
Okay, that's fine. Even for those 2 teams, I'd be pissed.
Okay, but just those teams are the only ones that are playing in late July.
Okay, but still, if I'm that's not fair to them either.
And by the way, like starting in October, you now back to normal schedule.
They really should go back to starting at Christmas.
No. But I'm saying, with October, you can get an 82-game season back, and
I know, but
you don't have back-to-backs anymore. All those are almost eliminated now, so you won't have to do the.
Yeah, they had back-to-backs when they were back in October. Period.
Yeah, I think they're gonna get rid of those.
Let me bring.
Okay, now if you telling me they're getting rid of back-to-backs like that, then
they might. I think
they're gonna have to, because if you telling me you gonna do that's wrong to do them like that.
Let me bring up something real quick, guys, because we want to stay locked in on what the goal is. So to fix this thing, we were talking about bringing in another guy. Can I interest anyone in Karis LeVert if you can get him?
I think Indiana's gonna keep him.
Yeah,
right. But if
he's got medical issues.
He does.
So that's kind of uppy down. Now I tell you what,
but he's the type of player we should be trying to get.
Now what's his name spoke out and said he wants to be here, even though he's injury prone. I wouldn't be upset if they ended up going and getting him. Marketing. He already spoke out and said.
Okay, but that's just KP.
I'm not saying for KP. I'm saying if they were to get him in the offseason.
So then you get 2 KPs on there.
If you got him, though, he's gonna play. You know what? He won't have to shoulder the load like he does in Chicago, though.
I guess, but most people wouldn't be happy with it.
Can we?
Of course, the brothers ain't gonna be happy. Billy, we gotta have a team full of
we need. Yeah, we need. Hey, let me ask you a question, man. And this is a good point. I don't have what you call it?
We are live watching. Billy not know how to use.
Billy's getting message out the watch.
Yeah, people are just going
in right now.
No, here's a good thing though, man. Someone brought this up, and just as a guy as a replacement for maybe Finney Smith, okay. Maurice Harkless. What about Avery Bradley, man? I know Avery Bradley's a little longer too.
He'd be nice, but
he's a good on-ball defender.
They're not going to get rid of Finney Smith. That Luka likes Finney, so they're not going to get rid of him.
I think Finney's here for another year. And Dwight Powell here for another year.
Now I will say this, and I heard this today. Mark Follow mentioned this today.
That ain't happening.
The great Jake Kemp from the Ticket also mentioned it on the little postmortem show. Did you
say the great
Jake Kemp? What's wrong with them? Sir, you respect the hang zone. You have Kleba, Dwight, and I believe Dorian Finney-Smith. These are the 3 guys that you could use to trade, not KP, but use to get off the books and try to find. I'm
tell you what Maxey putting up them duds in playoffs. Don't nobody want no damn Maxey Cleveland.
I know, but you might use his contract as just to get rid of.
Yeah, to kind of make some numbers match.
I'm just saying there are some avenues the Mavericks are going to use. It's just going to be tough. I want to trade him, but I'm sorry, but I guess we're going to be with KP. And hopefully we'll see what happens with a full normal regular season. That was my point in bringing up the schedule, is that we might have a normal regular season. What can this team do in a regular situation.
They can't come back. This team cannot come back this offseason. This will be a failed offseason and really a slap in the face to the DFW and all the Mavs fans out there. If the Mavericks run back out there and they come with the same philosophy, we're just going to use Luka and those guys. You need to get some guys out there. I don't care if it's reasonable, if it sounds feasible, if it can happen or not. I need to hear about some Zach LaVines. I need to hear about a Kemba Walker. I need to hear about some guys who we know are proven.
I had a
scorers.
veteran who I might try to bring back from San Antonio with me. I had a veteran.
I would take him over what we have, but that's who, DeRozan?
No, not DeRozan. I said a veteran guy.
A veteran guy from
Rudy Gay.
I wouldn't mind having Rudy Gay.
I'll bring Rudy Gay. I'm gonna try to bring Rudy Gay back from San Antonio.
That's a veteran guy right there.
Who can shoot it?
DeJounte Murray got back too.
No, they want him. They like him. They like him. They
should.
Yeah, they're not giving him up.
Well, hopefully you don't bring him because you're really bad on bringing.
That's not. I bought you Luka.
Yeah, and just I know we're trying to go to a break, but just real quick, this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. John Brown.
Remember when you said Mo Bamba? When you kept saying Mo Bamba was gonna be the pick, and I told you it's gonna be Luka. Remember that?
Look at what Mo Bamba doing. They're building around Mo Bamba.
They're trying to make stuff. No, just before we go to break. Before we go to break, but see, these are moves that you can make right here. Replace Willie Cauley-Stein and guys like that with a Hassan Whiteside. It's a clear upgrade. No, he's not going to break the bank, but it's a clear upgrade.
Hey, and Mike Fisher used this comment to me one time. I think when I was about Lance Stevenson, I said, "Bring Lance Stevenson here." He's not a Mavs culture.
A culture fit, right?
He's not a Mavs culture kind of guy.
Hassan,
I don't know about that.
That's what
that's
it
not
is.
no. That's
what it is. They need to just
no.
It's
It's not that. It was. He's not a Mavs culture guy, but Rondo was.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Hassan Whiteside already denied us once.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Well, nobody really wants him now, so maybe he'll settle in and come over and play.
Let's take a break. We come in. Let's talk about Billy's favorite team, those Dallas Cowboys. They got some stuff going on over there at the Star.
That DQ is about to happen, man.
Okay, yeah, the DQ is coming.
We're getting some blizzards.
Yeah, we'll get some blizzards coming.
Cowboys Nation right here next on Dallas on Air.